Sleep is a fundamental biological and psychological process, yet it is one of the most neglected health behaviors in modern society. Despite extensive scientific evidence linking sleep to cognitive functioning, emotional regulation, physical health, and mortality, many individuals, especially students and working adults, voluntarily restrict sleep to cope with academic, occupational, and social demands. This campaign addresses sleep deprivation as a health compromising behavior, integrating evidence from health psychology, behavioral medicine, and stress research. The campaign aims to increase awareness, correct misconception, and promote evidence based behavioral intervention to improve sleep quality and duration. At least 40 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep disorders, most commonly insomnia. 39% of adults sleep less than 7 hours on the weeknights. One third of the adults report sleep problems. 54% of adults over 55 experience insomnia at least once a week. Sleep problems are not rare and they are not harmless. While some individuals suffer from clinical sleep disorders, many, especially students, choose to deprive themselves of sleep to meet academic and social demands, often without realizing the long term cost.
It affects your attention span, causes stress, anxiety, and many more. And also, you'll feel drained all day and you won't have the energy to do stuff whatsoever.
Poor sleep actually affects every part of my day-to-day life. I cannot concentrate properly, I cannot do my works properly, and I tend to get more irritated when I don't have enough sleep.
Poor sleep affect my daily life very badly because it leads to more anxiety and I can't feel stable all over the day.
Poor sleep makes me feel constantly tired and I feel drained throughout the day. It also affects my mood, making me easily irritable and I feel less motivated to do my daily task.
Students nowadays, because of their academic pressure and parents wanting them to learn a bit more than everyone else.
I guess mostly the teenagers or people from my age below, I mean from 20 to 25.
I believe people who are above 60 or 70 are struggling the most with sleep. No, sleep is not optional. It is a very fundamental thing in life.
I don't think sleep is optional because our body and mind need sleep to function properly. I think without sleep, our health, our mood, and our daily activities are seriously affected.
I feel like sleep is not optional because it is a basic necessity for the human body to function normally.
Poor sleep affects the next day performance at office. It means it make you more drowsiness. You will be less alert in what is going on around you, and that affects your decision making skills. And people who works on the soft floor with tools and tackles and boots on the ground, they they will be more fragile people with poor sleep. Drivers and those kind of people who always to be alert, the poor sleep leads to drowsiness and unwanted incidents. Okay, so who the people will have lesser sleeps? So you can we can look at it two categories. People who are under stressful life. I mean that stress in the daytime they carry to the home and to the bed, and your mind is always active with stressful and favorable job. That is the one way you look at it. Second is basically when there is a less oxygen intake to the various cells, like if you have a polyps or tissues in the nose, that affects the air inflow. So that also makes you drowsy. If you ask whether sleep is it's optional, definitely it's not at all optional. It is a mandatory and must for a better day life. Thank you.
There is a lot of consequence of inadequate sleep that we tend to overlook on, especially psychological consequences. It includes symptoms such as impaired attention, memory, decision making, increased irritability, anxiety, and depression symptoms, including reduced stress tolerance. Physiological consequences include dysregulated insulin secretion, which may lead to diabetic risk, increased blood pressure, stress hormone activation, increased risk of coronary heart disease, weight gain and metabolic dysregulation, reduced immune functioning and vaccine response, chronic inflammations. Sleep deprivation alters how the brain and the body regulate stress, metabolism, immunity, and emotions, making poor sleep a significant and a silent contributor to a chronic disease. Not everyone loses sleep for the same reason. Some groups are more vulnerable to sleep problems. People facing major stress or trauma often experience hyperarousal, making sleep difficult. Rumination, constantly thinking about stress, is one of the strongest predictors of poor sleep. Alcohol may feel sedating, but it disrupts sleep quality and causes frequent awakenings. Low mood, high emotional arousal, and limited resources increases vulnerability to sleep disturbances. So, we agree that it's not just stress, right? Yes, it's not just stress. It's about how we think about it, cope with it, and carry it into the night. Many people struggle with poor sleep. To improve this poor quality of sleep, one effective approach is sleep hygiene education. This includes maintaining regular sleep wake schedules, limiting caffeine intake, especially in the evening, and reducing screen time exposure before bedtime. Another helpful strategy is relaxation training. Techniques like progressive muscle relaxation and deep breathing exercises help release physical tension and calm the nervous system, preparing the body for rest. Mindfulness based intervention focus on reducing cognitive and emotional arousal. By enhancing present moment awareness, mindfulness helps the individual relate to sleep with less worry and judgment. Finally, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, or CBTI, addresses unhelpful sleep beliefs and uses stimulus control techniques to strengthen the association between bed and sleep. It is considered the gold standard treatment for chronic insomnia. Together, these evidence based interventions promote healthier sleep and improve overall well being. Since we have come to the end of the campaign, I would like to conclude the whole campaign by saying that we live in a world that rewards exhaustion and ignores rest, but we now know that sleep is not a luxury, it is a basic biological necessity that we have to provide for our body. If not all different aspects of your life, all the daily small aspect of your life, including your thinking skills, your decision making ability, your mood, even the safety of others is compromised. We don't have to go to the extremes. We don't need to have a sleeping routine that provides us 10 to 12 hours of sleep, which is unrealistic in this lifetime. Our goal is to have a balanced, consistent, and restorative sleep that leaves us feeling rejuvenated when we wake up. So, I would like to conclude the session by saying that protect your sleep. It is one of the most important investment that you can make for your well-being. This is roll number 35, and thank you for your time.